Ambassador Maimon, thank you for coming. Rabbi Hartman, we are very excited to have you here today. I'm going to speak very briefly, not just because we're running behind schedule already, but I first just want to welcome everyone, particularly those from interstate. I want to give a shout out to all of the youth movements that have arrived and our students. Really excited to have you here, and I think it's going to be a fantastic day. I've been in this role now for around 5 years, and so you are hopefully not expecting me to catalogue a list of all of our achievements over the last year. You've seen the video, and there's a detailed report from Jeanette in the annual report that is on the table in front of you. But I think perhaps this year, more than any other year, it seems that we really should maximise the time that we have together to talk about the challenges facing the Jewish world, our community here, and the State of Israel, and hopefully some of the opportunities that present themselves as well. So I just want to frame the day and really just share one thought. I think it's fair to say that most, if not all of us, have been watching events in Israel unfold over the last 6 to 12 months very, very closely. And for some, it's been a time of frustration, fear, and despair. Fear for what is to come. Fear that the dire predictions from many well-respected Israeli figures will materialise. And others have viewed events from a very different perspective. A time of change that was perhaps overdue, a readjustment, something that will ultimately strengthen Israel or even its democracy. Now, from what I observe, and we have some data on this now from the 61J survey, I think most people are sort of in the middle, and they feel incredibly conflicted about what is happening at the moment in Israel. They oscillate between despair and hope. I know I do. Fearing that the Israel that they grew up with is at risk of changing profoundly. Yet, many remain inspired by the incredible resilience of the Israeli people and of Israel's remarkable achievements. But my concern is that the most widespread response will be the quietest. And probably not from the people in this room, but almost certainly from all of the people that we represent in our respective organisations. So the response that I fear is of people turning away because they no longer see themselves reflected in the Israel of today. Or they simply find it too difficult to navigate their way through the complexities of the situation. But regardless of how we each feel as individuals, I have no doubt that each of us can and we must agree in this room today that we cannot allow any part of the community to detach from Israel and by extension from their Jewish identity. It's simply unthinkable. And while we can't and we won't solve all of Israel's problems today, and probably not of all of our problems today, what we can do here on this beautiful day in Sydney, in Bondi, is to ensure that no one here and no one in our community feels that their only option is to be silent and detach. Because regardless of where you sit on the political spectrum, Zionism is about doing. It's about engaging. Silence and apathy can't be on the menu. And this is why we've invited Rabbi Hartman to be our guest of honour today and over the course of the next week in Melbourne and Sydney. In my view, and I'm a little bit biased because I have a bit of a crush, but he is one of a handful of people in the Jewish world today, unfortunately there aren't that many, who embodies the spirit of thoughtful engagement and compassionate leadership that we are so badly in desperate need of today. His late father, Rabbi David Hartman, once said, and I quote, "We need a Judaism that starts in a dialogue, not a monologue." Now, it was in a different context, but I think whether we're talking about the diaspora or Israel today, it seems to me that the need for dialogue is more important than ever before. So today is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to gather and to model for the people in this room, from young to old, but also for the rest of the community, how a diverse Jewish community is able, indeed determined, to engage in respectful, thoughtful, and constructive dialogue on the basis that there is so much more that unites us than there is that divides us. So I hope today we can all harness the atmosphere, the goodwill, and we can engage in meaningful dialogue together and make the most of the day. And I encourage everyone to please participate. And if there is anything that doesn't fit into one of the agenda items, because we do have a very packed day, there will be an opportunity at the end of the day to raise those issues.